everyone who's on. We've been welcoming you throughout, but we're going to officially start now to this, the first live with this distinguished author. The opportunity to speak to her. We don't know if when she hits Oprah's book fan club.
Oh, wow. Speak it.
So I have the distinguished, esteemed, I would say, privilege of introducing Aka, of interviewing Aka. I've gotten to know Aka over the past couple months, and it has really been more than a journey. It's been a meeting of souls. She has a heartprint in me, and to everyone who would read this book and pre-order, we're going to share the links. We're going to share everything here with you. We'll understand why Aka chose to not just write this book, but impact so many lives. So the name to the book, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care. For those who don't know, let me share a little bit with you who is Aka. As we said earlier, she's a John Maxwell certified coach, trainer, and speaker. She has facilitated workshops, seminars, coaching to aid personal and professional growth through the study and practical application of John Maxwell, his proven leadership methods. She's worked together in the past 20 years with different sectors. The main sector, of course, being human resource. She's a leader. She's a thought leader. She's an innovator. And within this pandemic, she's really had to make more than difficult decisions. She took this crisis and made an opportunity, found an opportunity in it by creating this master guide. She has moved leaders and their teams in their desired direction to reach their organizational goals. Before we do that interview, we have a bit of a video to show you, all of our viewers here. This video is on our Facebook page, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care.
I have been asked on many occasions, Aka, where did you get the passion and the love for people? And it dawned on me, I got it from my mom. You see, my mom was a teacher, and as a young adult, I would go to school with her from time to time. The first day, I was absolutely speechless. As we drove into the compound, Mommy stopped. She spoke to the security guard. Then as she drove, the parents would blow their horns and wave at Mom. As she reached closer to the classroom, the children ran and gave her a hug. And I realized that was Mommy's normal. On one particular day, though, it absolutely was different. As we drove into the compound, Mommy stopped and she spoke to the security guard. She then reached to the back seat, picked up a brown bag and gave it to Mr. Jones. They exchanged pleasantries and we drove off. As we drove off, I said, Mom, what did you give Mr. Jones? She said, Aka, I gave him a meal. I said, why did you give him a meal? She said 4 months ago, Mr. Jones shared that he was in some financial difficulty. And on that day, my mother decided that she would give Mr. Jones a meal every day that she came to school. I asked, how did you know that he would appreciate it? She said, I didn't initially, but his reaction spoke volumes. He said, Mrs. Ali, thank you for listening and thank you for showing that you care. Wow. At the end of the conversation, Mommy told me 2 things that I've kept with me. Care is a verb. It's a doing and a telling word. And care is only care when the person receiving appreciates and acknowledges that they feel cared for. I have used those words of wisdom as my anchor as a leader. Everything that I do, everything that I say, my manner, how I articulate my thoughts, when I'm coaching persons, when I'm training, when I'm giving feedback, even when I'm holding persons accountable. In this book, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care, I have shared my 20 years of experience. It's a practical book that is an easy read that shares with leaders, young and experienced, how care, when rooted in everything that we do, it is magic. We have to be leaders that we would like to follow. So I share with you, show care and be the ultimate high performance leader.
Wow, wow, wow. So to all of our viewers right here on Facebook, that video was created for a website called Publishizer. You just got your introduction to Aka and then you heard from her on the video. Publishizer is a website, an international website that allows authors to pitch their book to international publishers. So this Trini here, Aka Ali-Kerr, right? Opportunity to pitch to international authors, international publishers, once we hit a certain number. And with your help, we know we will. Your support has been phenomenal. Aka, how are you feeling right now? First up, as we move to your first live.
I have a slew of emotions. I have excitement. I have a feeling of awe. I am humbled by the support, Safeeya, and I am excited. So I have a range of emotions that is just kind of going through me right now. But just wow, just wow.
But you know, that's very much akin to what was happening, that chaotic kind of feeling, what people felt in the crisis.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we all found a way to find that equanimity. And that's something your book even spoke about, how to find that peace. So, Aka, have you ever seen yourself as an author? What is your why?
Saf, thank you so much for asking that. And the short answer is no. So 3 years ago, I had a pastor, Pastor Joseph, speak into my life. He said, Aka, you have a book inside of you. I was like, okay, a book inside of me. And so he planted that seed. And I would have gone through different opportunities, whether it's speaking at a postgrad, lecturing, or at a Chamber of Commerce, speaking. And every time I would give a presentation at the end, I was always humbled by the response. You know, Aka, thank you so much. That passion that you have for people, where did you get it? So fast tracking to a meeting I had at the ECA. I am a board member for the Industrial Relations Committee, and we were talking. And the committee member said, Aka, you need to share how you get people to be productive. You need to write a book. And then I'm like, another person telling me about this book. And what I realized is that every time someone spoke into my life, they were watering that seed from 3 years ago. So here I am in April of last year. And I decided through this pandemic, I need to retool as a leader. I need to be a better version of myself. So I joined John Maxwell and I seek my certification. So as I start this process, I am like, wow, that is just tapping in. So I had a conversation with a friend, Cindy. I said, Cindy, I think I'm going to write a book, but I don't have time. She said, okay, Aka, here's what you're going to do. You're going to record the book and I will transcribe it. I said, okay. So every day I would do a chapter, I would do, some paragraphs. And Saf, for 3 months, I did this. And I had my personal crisis on the 12th of July. My aunt, who was my mother figure since my mom passed away, my Runali, 11 years ago. Colleen DeGans passed away suddenly. I felt devastated. So through this journey of writing a book, I had my own personal crisis. And I stopped writing, Saf. I actually stopped. I said, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this, God. You told me to write the book and I just don't have the desire. And I just kept on hearing a still voice, Aka, I am here. I will never leave you, nor will I forsake you. And then eventually I started to resume with writing the book. And that is my why. And the reason why I did it, Saf, is because I have a burning desire to help others. And the many times people would have said, Aka, can you speak at this training? Can you present? I realize that God has blessed me. So, Saf, that is my why. My why is just about positively impacting the lives of others. And so that seed planted 3 years ago, this is now the fruit.
Aka, the essence in this book, and I got wrapped up in reading it. And yes, you shared in the beginning how busy I am. I wear many hats, but I got wrapped up in reading in the beginning. The 3 C's and 3 A's. You're going to tell us. But one of the big C's is communication. And while you said you wrote the book for HR, human resource leaders, I shared to you, but here's the thing. Communication is at the heart of any successful medical practice. I saw this master guide as a game changer for any leader, any professional, regardless of the sphere, not just human resource.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wants to be an empathetic communicator.
Absolutely.
Of medicine, which I would feel. And you know what I really love about this book is that your wisdom shines through. Your recommendations. Tell me, what is the value proposition? Why should someone even invest in a time like this when why should someone invest? I know why I did. Viewers after, but I want to hear it from you. Why should people invest?
For me, person should invest in this book because it really is the differentiator as a leader. I have encountered many leaders who are competent. They have degrees, they have been doing this for a while, but they are unable to maintain and or even create a productive and engaged work environment. So for me, when care is rooted, as the video said, when care is rooted in everything that you do as a leader, then it's magic. We as leaders, we are here to serve. So our manner, the way that we communicate is critical. And so this book, and interestingly, Saf, you mentioned, it's not only for HR, and you're right, it's for any leader. I had someone reached out to me from Miami, and she heard the interview and she said, Aka, do you know that your book impacts me as a mom doing online training for my child? I said, tell me a little bit more. She went on to say that I realized my how was impacting her success, the child. So I realized I have to change how I speak, how I communicate to my child. And Saf, that is a wow moment. This book is for whether you are just starting in leadership or you are a seasoned leadership practitioner. It takes away all the theory. This is a practical application to leadership through my 20 years of experience. So everyone who leads, whether you're in a family that you're leading, whether you have a small business and you're leading, whether you're in a large business, whether you are a doctor, we all lead. And so how do we lead? How do we pivot through our day is rooted in care.
Certainly. Yeah. Anyone who's on this Facebook Live, we were going to run it through the Master Guide leadership page. So feel free to jump across onto that Facebook page as well. You're just looking for Master Guide to the Leadership Through the Lens of Care. Aka, did you even know that you were going to be touching people from so many spheres of this globe? You shared to me that your page is already hitting people. Kenya, South Africa, New Zealand, not just Trinidad and Jamaica and USA and UK and Canada, but all over, even as far as Maldives.
Wow. Saf, and that comes back to what I said. I am so humbled by this entire experience. And for me, honestly, if I get the opportunity to touch one life, to change one life as a leader, I would be so honored, because I am so passionate that as leaders, it's a privilege to lead. But to lead people, you have to love people. And the tenet of my book goes through, how do you love? And many persons get confused with love because they say, and care. If I care for someone, how do I hold them accountable? Absolutely, you can. Holding someone accountable is not the what, it's your how. How you communicate to that person, how do you connect to that person, how do you coach? And that for me is integral in my book. And I am just excited to share those key tenets and mandates in my book.
You mentioned there about the coaching. I believe coaching is the ultimate gift we can give back to humanity.
Yeah.
Actually, having 20 years of experience,
Yeah.
what has been just one? I know there are many achievements. What would you share to the audience who's listening? Inspire them. One of your major achievements.
Saf, that's a tough one, but one that sticks out is being selected as the HR director at Hyatt Regency Trinidad. Safeeya, I had 8 interviews. I had 4 in Trinidad, and then I had to go to Chicago and have 4 interviews back to back to back. And they wanted to ensure that they selected someone that could maintain the brand and the image of Hyatt.
Yeah.
And that for me has been such a milestone. Safeeya, I am the first local HR director at Hyatt Regency Trinidad.
What?
And I mean, that in itself is an accomplishment. So when I got the job, when I'm going through the file, which is now my file, I realized over 100 people applied for my position throughout the world. And Safeeya, I was selected. And I have been at my establishment for going on 10 years. And I have found a multinational organization that their purpose is to care for people so they could be their best.
Yes.
So I have been able to marry my core values in an organization, and together we have been able to make significant headway in Trinidad. And that for me has been a major milestone in my career path.
As you mentioned, care and difficult decisions, right? We all know what the world faced last year. Many crises, one on top of the other, because of this unprecedented pandemic. Many organizations, and I'm going to really ask you a hard question here, okay, Aka?
Absolutely.
Many organizations had to make hard choices. As an HR director to this multinational organization, make those difficult decisions through the crisis.
Yes, we had to. As in any organization, we had to pivot. My industry is very volatile, very, very volatile to a health pandemic. So we saw significant impacts on our business, how we did business. Our borders, as you know, in Trinidad, because I know I have a wide reach of persons listening, in Trinidad, our borders have been closed for a year. Our hotel survives, 80% of our revenue comes from outside the borders. So how did we pivot through this pandemic? How were we creative? How were we innovative? How did we ensure that our local clients kept us afloat? And that was a difficult decision. In addition to that, Saf, how do you ensure that your headcount is in alignment with your business levels? And that also takes difficult decisions. So, and that really speaks to that people feel that care means that you don't make difficult decisions. We had to make difficult decisions, but again, it's your how. It's how do you respect people? How are you the leader that you would like to follow? And for me, that is what we did through this pandemic, through this storm, and to ensure that we are successful at the end.
Aka, I believe any HR leader or any director or anyone who is on this Facebook Live would benefit just from this conversation, far from this book. You see, I myself, even when I read it, I told you, it felt like a constant cycle of learning and evolving. I grew just reading your book, right? I've recommended it now to so many persons. So I'll do that here today to all who's live. Jump on the publishizer.com site. Just write Aka Ali-Kerr or just follow our Leadership Through the Lens of Care Facebook page and you will get the link. Why am I telling you about this link? Because Aka has the opportunity to pitch to international publishers. You all can help put Aka, this Trinidadian, with this multinational portfolio on the map. Her Facebook page is already showing that. Aka, tell me, on the Publishizer site, you put 3 specific bonuses. I signed up for one and I'm very excited about it. So tell me about these bonuses.
Good. Saf, before I get into the bonuses, I want to share why I did the bonuses.
Yes.
During this pandemic, employers had to make some difficult decisions and looking at cost. And unfortunately, training was a cost that was minimized or even taken away with many organizations. I understand that to navigate through this crisis, you need to retool, you need to reskill. So the bonuses are there to ensure that in addition to the book, you are going to have the opportunity to get training, because I also understand that people learn differently. Some people, they learn through actually oratory. So they need to hear it in order to receive it. And there's some people that need to read. I have given you a bonus that gives you both. Last week, a friend asked me, she said, Aka, why are you doing this training? Why are you doing this complimentary? And I paused and I said, because I want to give back. I want to ensure that people in Trinidad and Tobago, throughout the region and the world, we are better versions of ourselves. As leaders, it's a privilege. So let me talk to you about these 3 bonuses. Starting with the John Maxwell Leadership in Crisis. This certification, Saf, you know, being a JMT sister yourself, this allows you to really understand how to pivot, how to go through the crisis. I just want to refer to the key components. You learn how to practically apply and maneuver through the crisis. You learn how to seize opportunities in the crisis, and you learn how to pivot in the crisis. This training, ladies and gentlemen, is a 2-hour training that you would normally pay for via John Maxwell. And Saf and I are going to give you 2 hours of training so that you can pivot through this entire process. You could ensure that you have the tools required to be the best version of yourself. So the next thing I want to share, the next training is HR. How do we retool as HR practitioners for the 21st century? Do you have a remote work policy? Many organizations, for instance, now are doing remote work. Have you done a policy for that? How are you doing your interviews? Did you set up infrastructure to do it virtually? That training will go through the different HR functions and how you are able to navigate through this crisis, even as a small or even a large entity. The third training, Saf, that I am going to offer, that I'm excited, and again, this is all complimentary. This is me giving to you. This training is about leadership through the lens of care. How do you lead with care? I will go through the 3 key mandates of my book, which is care with action, consistency with accountability, and competence with the right attitude. So I am going to go through that training, and this training, actually, I facilitated it via the ECA, and you know what? Persons paid for it, but I'm going to give it to you complimentary. So that is the package that I am sharing, Saf, and I am so excited. It is more than a book. This is giving you a book plus the practical know-how. That is how I am just excited to give back.
You know, Aka, that is the essence of servant leadership. We became John Maxwell coaches, mentors. I think that was not just instilled with us, we aligned to John Maxwell because it's part of our DNA.
Absolutely.
About giving back. You're more than just a giver. You are a doer. So everyone is benefiting from the guide, which they can read at their own time.
Correct.
And this one-on-one training, be it to themselves or to their organization.
Correct.
That's where we'll have that pebble, that effect of really spreading through. And that is one that I signed up for.
Yes, absolutely.
My organization to benefit from the HR one. And I look forward to doing co-executing, co-hosting with you for the with respect to the John Maxwell leadership practice. And to all who's here, we're really going to touch on resilience. How do we have that agility mindset? How do we have that adaptability coefficient? We all talk about IQ. Here's the thing. Aka is going to give you a different eye, as in through the lens, AQ all together in this particular bonus. So that bonus I know is option 3, but anyone who goes onto the Publishizer site, and you can get all of these links on the Facebook page, Leadership Through the Lens of Care, or just send a message to Aka. I know she will. And you or your organization will get the master guide, will get the training, and then get the opportunity to support Aka to be pitched to international publishers. I can't wait for that. I think you're gonna. It reminds me of some of these international fashion shows. All of Trinidad behind Anya as well.
Yes. Saf, I am just excited. Really, even when I left college, my mom asked me, Aka, why are you coming back home? You could just stay in the US and work there and settle down there. I have always had a desire to give back. And I feel that Trinidad and Tobago, we are such a genuine and warm people. I feel an obligation to have to give back. So these bonuses, it's just my opportunity to bless you. It's my opportunity to ensure that you are the best version of yourself. And the book, it's just, think about going to a training, and at the end of the training, you walk away and you have no material. My book is your slide deck. My book tells you this is what you do, and this is based on a training that you received from me. But it's important to always remember, though, complimentary it is, but it's for the first 500 persons that pre-order. So I want you to get excited and be part of the first 500 persons that get my book for $25 US, which includes shipping and handling, plus the option of a complimentary bonus of either John Maxwell certification, HR skills, or leadership through care. I am just excited to pour on you and share my 20 years with you.
You know, as you mentioned there about just through the lens of care and being the best version of yourself, the thing that I took away as well from this book is that it provided opportunities to help us navigate through these common workplace disruptors. It gave you practical, pragmatic advice. And you explained case scenarios that can challenge any organization. Did it all through the lens of care. And
absolutely.
you emphasized key competencies. But in this pandemic, those key competencies actually change, but the ones that are going to thrive, not just survive, the ones that are going to thrive through this pandemic are those persons and organizations with the ability to zone, to focus into these key competencies and be a productive, but all
absolutely
through the lens of care.
Absolutely. Saf, you spoke about competencies, and I don't want anyone on the call to feel that if you are a caring leader and you're not competent, you'll be successful. Care is your vehicle. Your competence is going to enhance the journey. So the competencies that I referred to in the book: communication, influence, resilience, communication, again, teamwork. How are you a team player? And how do you lead? We should lead with humility. And those competencies I've spoken about in the book, because I recognize that you must be competent, but you must match it through the lens of care. So, Saf, you are right on point. You must have these competencies, and especially during this pandemic, resilience is so critical. You must be able to see this glass as half full and not half empty. That's what resilience is. It is you being the ultimate optimist. You able to pull your team, to lead your team through a crisis, to stay positive, to stay engaged. That is a unique skill because it starts with us. And that's why I referred about accountability. As a leader, accountability starts with us. We must hold ourselves accountable before we hold others accountable. Just excited. I'm just excited, sir.
You know what? The excitement is contagious. I think all of your fans, everyone who's on the Facebook page, Leadership Through the Lens of Care, I want you all who are here right now on this live, share it. You have the opportunity to be part of Aka's journey. And we talked about as well an extra special bonus that you're also going to share with all of the viewers here today. When I heard this, I was blown away. Socks off.
So Saf, one thing that I would like to even add, I mean, the bonuses are already phenomenal. I would like this book to also go on Amazon.com. So I am going to ask persons who pre-ordered the book to read the book and give me a review. And we are going to choose the top 3 reviews and put it on Amazon when I put my book on Amazon, because I really value feedback. And speaking about the feedback, in addition to Dr. Saf reading my book, I have given my book to my husband. I've given it to a former minister. I've given it to a student in UE. I've given it to a director in an NGO. I have given it to family, because what I want to do, and also my apostle, I also gave it to him. What I'm trying to do before I publish the book, I need to ensure that this book is really going to impact the lives of others. So getting a diverse group of people to read my book and giving me, just positive inputs, change this phrase, do this differently, is going to ensure that the product that you get is going to be amazing. So I am through the process. I don't know everything, and I need to get input. So me putting my book out there to you, Dr. Saf, and giving me feedback, and I always tell you, I'm not easily offended. If you give me feedback to make me better, I take it. And that's what I've been doing. So the book is finished, but I'm tweaking it and making sure that it's the best product for you. Yes.
Aka, you not only do things through the lens of care, you do it through the lens of excellence.
Absolutely.
Feel that there's so much that we lost, especially in the pandemic. Now, that's
Yeah.
we had to adapt and adjust.
Yes.
At the end of the day, God made us in his excellent form.
Yes.
And that's what he desires for us, to be our excellent self. We just had
Absolutely.
the opportunity of presenting in Ghana. And
Yes.
it was Aka's another first
Yes.
regional conference.
Yes. Yes.
And that Sonia kept saying, Sonia Noel, who hosted it, who is a bestseller author on Amazon, and she was so thrilled about Aka's book as well. Sonia shared, leave nothing when you go to that grave.
Absolutely.
That dash in between when you're born and when you leave this earth is
Yes.
filled with that.
Absolutely.
And this is you
Absolutely.
contributing to that legacy. But I love
Absolutely.
how you are involving so many persons on this.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
giving them the opportunity to also be part
Absolutely.
of the legacy.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a beautiful line that says, if you want to go far,
Yes. Yes. If you want to go far, go
First,
alone.
go alone.
Yes. But
You
if
really
you
want
want
to learn to do that distance.
go distance, go with many.
Paraphrasing.
That's
Go
right.
deeper.
And for me, Saf, that has been always been my core. I mean, persons who know me, who are on this live, um, if you know me, this is who I am. I am my authentic self. Every day, this is who I am. I genuinely have a love for people. And I always knew that I needed to work in an industry that dealt with people. I knew that I could not do anything. I get my energy from people. I get my energy from helping others. My resilience is from my human resources. When I walk into work and I say good morning and someone says something to me, that's my top up. That is how I am able every day to be the best version of myself. And that's what we need to do as leaders. Every day you need to present the best version of yourself. I know that you're human, and so
Yeah.
am I. And if for whatever reason on that day you're not the best version of yourself, tell it to your team. Let your team know something is going on that is impacting me. So apologize up front. Let your team not tiptoe around you as a leader because you are going through something that is impacting you as a human. And that is what we have to do as leaders. Be authentic. Team, you know what? I'm having a rough time. When my aunt passed, Auntie Colleen, I went to work and I said, guys, I'm having a tough time. And they were able to then support me through my crisis. And that's because of the authentic relationship I have with my team. And that's what we have to do. But how do you get there? It's how you treat people. You treat people how you would like to be treated.
And that's one of the themes that John Maxwell resonated in his
Absolutely.
crisis.
Absolutely.
He talked
Yeah.
about leaning in. He
That's
talked
right.
shared being as authentic as you can. Because
Yeah.
that way, you don't need to know all the answers.
That's right.
You need to know how to be strategic,
That's right.
how to be empathetic. And just to record that little line that I was saying there, it really is, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go the distance or want to go far, go
With the
together.
team.
And that's
Yes.
where you also talked about that very important tenet.
Yes. Yes. Teamwork. Absolutely.
Teamwork. Tell
We
me, how
are.
did work take you through the crisis as an organization?
It's really about communication. Being a leader, if you cannot communicate, then you cannot lead. Communication and leadership is hand in hand. So what we did at the organization I work for is we communicate. Every day we will talk to each other. We use the intranet. We use our notice boards. How do we get through as a team? Communication is key. How do we ensure we're following the protocols of this pandemic? How do we ensure that we care for people so we could be the best? One of the things that we did is working from home, flexibility. Our demographic has a lot of single mothers. How do we ensure that we come up with a win-win situation? That persons single mothers can work, but yet be the most important, I would say, the role other than wife, be a mother or a father, because we do have single fathers as well. And that flexibility in a pandemic, that's what we have to do as leaders. Because if we were in that person's shoes, what would we like? We would like that olive branch extended. So that is what we've done, Saf. We've just communicated. We've over communicated, and that's okay, because over communication, we know that it will then stay. And because of repetition, then people change behavior and they learn.
Exactly.
So absolutely, communication is key, leaders. And as I said, this is not only for leaders, this book, this is for people studying in UE. One of the persons that I asked to review my book, Saf, is a third-year student in UE. And he told me something that I would never forget. He said, Aka, this is one of the best leadership books I've read because it is simple. It's not filled with jargon, and it allows me to use your experience to be a better leader as a young leader. And wow. And that's the impact I want to have, Saf.
And that's what it's going to do. It's really, it's not like, and as we shared, it's not just touching lives here in Trinidad. It blew my mind that your Facebook page has already reached. I'm gonna repeat that for those who didn't hear it.
God.
Canada, in Kenya, South America, South Africa, New Zealand, Maldives, Jamaica, and all through Trinidad. So for those who are joining us, we're coming down to the last 15 minutes here on this live. In the conversation with the author, Aka Ali-Kerr. Her book, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care, find it on Facebook, Leadership Through the Lens of Care, is on a website called publishizer.com. It gives all of these authors the opportunity, once they hit a certain target, and this is where we need your help to hit these targets. Once they hit that target of those 500 pre-orders, then it will be pitched to international publishers, and it can touch the lives of people all over the world. But we can only do this with your help. With your help. But it comes with the benefit of praises, recommendations of leaders already here in Trinidad and shared across the globe. They not only recommended your book, Aka, they've endorsed your book. And another thing, you didn't get to share yet with your viewers that on putting the book on publishizer.com, that there are already 3 publishers in the first 3 days. They be interested in your book.
Absolutely. Saf, again, this has been such a humbling experience. The process entailed me setting a proposal, and the video that you saw was part of the proposal to be part of Publishizer. And within the first few days, 3 international publishers expressed interest in publishing my book. And that to me is like a wow moment. And I am excited. I have a couple more weeks to end my campaign. And this could grow to 10 international publishers where I could choose the best fit for me and my book. And as Saf said, it's only going to happen with your help. It's your support. It's you just being there for me as I pour out to you. I just want to ensure that you are the best version of yourself. And I have been getting messages, persons saying, Aka, I do not have a credit card. I don't have a PayPal account. That's okay. What you could do is DM me after privately, and we will make sure that we get the pre-order done for you. I am so passionate about you getting the bonuses that I will do everything in my power, to help you pre-order. So if you do not have a credit card, just DM me on my Facebook page or on Leadership Through the Lens of Care and say, I need a book. I do not have a credit card. And my team, we will get our heads together and we will get that book. And more importantly, the training to you and your organization.
when you plant a seed of training, it's
Mm.
planting a tree, and that gives shade to so many. And that's exactly what training is.
Yes.
That's training. I mean, this is such a win-win for everyone. That's why you
Absolutely.
like that and did my pre-order in no time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
I
yes.
did not waste that opportunity, because this is an opportunity that I recommended even for my other organizations that fall and that fall under myself.
Yes.
As we come to the last couple minutes of this live, I know we've talked about the bonuses. So for all who's listening, there are 3 key bonuses. To access them, you need to just put in a pre-order. If there are any little obstacles along the way, as Aka shared, just DM. She has a phenomenal team that's on standby that will indeed respond. Send a message, do that pre-order. Here's how you can even give a gift to your organization, because that's what I did. I did the pre-order to give the training to my organization because I saw such benefit in it.
Yeah.
What's one of your key takeaway messages in this book?
It's being a caring leader.
Yeah.
Saf, I can't express to you how much being who I am has helped me through my 20 years. What I want people to get from this book is, as leaders, it's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
It's a privilege, and it's something that you must be passionate about. You need to love people to lead people. You cannot lead without love. And when I know some people, when you hear the word love, you're like, oh, love meaning how you treat people, how you respect others, how are you, again, the best leader that you could be. And John Maxwell says something, Saf, that comes to mind that I actually shared in my book. John Maxwell says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's right.
And Saf, that is so powerful. And if you think about it as a leader, you could be the most competent person. You could be the most competent leader. You have 3 degrees, but if you don't treat people with care, you will not be able to create a positive, engaged, and motivated and productive environment, because your how is not reaching people. So this book shares, yes, you're competent, but how do you care?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're competent. What's your attitude?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're competent. Are you consistent? Do you hold yourself accountable? Too many times leaders feel that we could act in a way that is not in alignment with the core values of an organization, but yet hold others accountable for not doing it. That's not leadership. Leadership is living the core values every day. And if you fail one day, fail forward. So when you get up, you will be steps ahead. And that's something that John Maxwell talks about. As leaders, we are going to fail, but let's fail forward so that we will be in a better position when we get up. And that, for me, ladies and gentlemen, my friends and my family who are tuned in, that is what I want you to get away from this book. How can you be a caring leader? How could you be the best version of yourself? And how could you be the leader that you would like to follow?
Aka, this has been a phenomenal interview. I've done a number of interviews
Thank you.
with medical doctors. I've learned so much just in this interview. And
Thank you.
I hope every single one who's on this live has something that they feel motivated
Yes.
to do the pre-order, but to help this journey along. Because
Absolutely.
servant leadership, we need that guidance. We need
Absolutely.
models. We don't have these role models in our society.
Absolutely.
We're struggling in this evolved world.
Yes.
And true, authentic servant leaders.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the one thing about this book is that you showcase that while everything can change. The only constant is care.
Absolutely.
It echoed in not just the word care, but your passions
Yeah.
echoed throughout the book.
Absolutely.
Any takeaway that I got from this book, being in the medical community, being in the training community, being in the coaching community, is that in order to connect to
Absolutely.
another person, our true, authentic passion
Absolutely.
come true. And
Absolutely.
as you shared, any person reading this book, they're not
Yeah.
just evolve or grow through it. I
Yeah.
feel they're gonna get a little bit of that glow that you're sharing.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
Absolutely, absolutely. And Saf, as I said, and I really say it from a genuine place. Um, I never thought that I would write a book. But that seed that was planted 3 years ago, every positive affirmation, everybody speaking into my life, everyone sharing their appreciation, that was watering that seed. And now I see this journey as a bamboo shoot. When a bamboo plant is growing, it takes a lot of time to shoot above the earth. And that's because the roots have to be grounded. My 20 years has allowed me to ground. My 20 years has allowed me to go through different permutations in different organizations and take the best from everywhere that I've worked. And this book is the bamboo shoot just flourishing. This is me giving back. And this book shares what I planted, what was watered, and what now exists.
you know, they say every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We're strongest when we cheer on each other. And to, again, all of our listeners, all of our viewers here today, there's something even more special about doing this interview during this month of March, because we not only celebrated International Women's Day, the entire month is Women's History Month. Or the dedication, and as we showed in the beginning that video, but the dedication is to your mom. And
absolutely.
And I firmly believe, you say you didn't know you were going to become an author. This is divinely ordained. This is not in your hands anymore.
Absolutely. Saf, if you know anything about me, and you know my mom, you knew my mom, my Runali. Mommy always tried to put me to the forefront. And my brother, Olatunji Yearwood, he loved the stage. He loved the limelight. But for me, I always wanted to just be my best, but in the back. But mommy always planted that seed. I remember about a year or so before mommy passed, she said, Aka, I see you working for a multinational company and you are the head of HR. And I was like, okay, mom, that. And I thought, you know what? That was just mommy just being mommy. She loved me. She just spoke it into me. And Saf, I am seeing that seed that my mom planted. And it's so important that as people, whether women or men, when you speak into someone's life, speak positivity. Words have so much impact. And words spoken cannot be regained. Be conscious as leaders as to what you say, and as I said, how you say it. You have the ability to impact the lives of so many people. So and that is something I've taken from mom. Mom exuded care and love, and that is something that I am allowing others to see, but it's only because of the seed. And these seeds and just it fell on fertile ground, and I am excited to pour out. I'm really, really excited.
That's another connection there, because both our moms are teachers, and that also becomes part of what that deal.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They care and they nurture, and you continuing that legacy. And anyone that pre-orders this book, anyone who gets it afterwards, is also now embedded. That's
Yes,
planted within them.
absolutely.
Last couple minutes, Aka, this has been phenomenal.
Thank you very much. It really has been an honor. And again, I just want to end by saying the bonuses that I offer to you is to ensure that you are the best version of yourself as a leader. Yes, I could have charged for it, but no, that's not what I want to do. I really want to impact you. I want to impact you at your home. I want to impact you where you work. I want to impact you where you worship. Because this book can assist in every aspect of who you are. Because care is what we should do every day, in everything that we do, in every interaction that we have. So I would like to just share with you that I want to thank you first. I want to thank you. We launched our social media page on the 13th of March, which was Mom's birthday. And we are now close to 800 persons on our page. We have over 9,000 reactions from all the videos and all the quotes. And I know that I would not have been here without you. And I sincerely, from my heart, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for allowing me to impact your life. And thank you for being the vehicle for me to impact thousands of lives. As we care for people, as we lead through the lens of care, as we become leaders that we would like to follow. I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being courageous to not just knowing and recognizing this gift, but unlocking it. And as you unlocked your gift, as you bravely lead forward, you let that light shine. You light flame for another young leader to be and feel that brave as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We are like dominoes and we have to keep moving this forward. This has been a phenomenal. So again, we put the link in the chat at the bottom. If you can't find it there, then just jump on the Facebook page, Leadership Through the Lens of Care. This is really an entire synergistic effect of us coming together to put this book on the map, to elevate Trinidad to the point of more than just servant leadership, but caring leadership,
Absolutely.
leadership, and doing it all, as you say, through the lens of care.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
This has been our first live. Aka has had numerous firsts, and you continue. We can follow it on the Facebook page, but we really want you to jump on the website that are on the publishizer.com site and find the book, do your pre-order. Let us give Aka this opportunity to then pitch her book to international publishers.
Thank you.
But Trinidad is always on the map, but we need to make sure Trinidad is on the map for the right things. And this was actually something that the person from Publishizer, Lee, said. He was very keen.
Yes.
For all the pieces of the puzzle coming together.
Yes, it really has been, he has been so supportive, Lee from Publicizer.com. He was so excited to hear that I was from Trinidad, because that was a untapped territory, as it were. And what an honor would it be for Trinidad to be on the map for a leadership book that is different to all others, because it's a practical application to get you to be the caring leader. So yes, absolutely.
I think that brings us to the end. It's a phenomenal hour.
Thank you.
To really just allow you to tap into that gift. For those who know my personal journey, knows that I'm one who not just support any person who's found that dream, but really kind of help them pivot through that dream. I encourage people to be their most awesome, extraordinary self
Absolutely.
every way you can, because these are not just our gifts, these are gifts that God put into us.
Absolutely.
You have
Absolutely.
planted the seeds in this book.
Thank you.
It's just going to continue to, as you receive your blessings,
Yes.
God is going to open these pathways and you're going
Thank
to
you.
bless others. So
Thank you.
to all of the persons who tuned in, this is our first, but it most certainly won't be our next. We have a slew of lives. We have some other key people coming on, and
Yes.
in for when the book tour starts. I want to just announce one very key date, which is April 17th. That's when this contest comes to a close. Let me just make sure. Sorry, April 15th.
Yes,
But
15th.
extra days.
Yes, the 15th. Yes.
We are now 16 days left in this
Yes.
competition on publishizer.com.
Yes.
So
Yes.
jump on the link and bless this book with
Thank you.
magic. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an awesome hour. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.